Hi, I thought that I would make a tutorial for you today as a video instead of as written out instructions. I'll also do that. This is not my original idea. It is an idea that I got from another tutorial. I modified it just a little bit, but it is not mine, and I will put a link to whose original idea this was on my blog, so that we can give credit where credit's due. Okay, here's what we need. We need some embossing ink, and this one has been well used. It's kind of dirty, but it still works. We need our inking tool with a felt pad on it. We need some embossing powder. I picked out black and I picked out gold. You can use anything. And I've got fine detail powder, not the distress. Here's the tiles, the 4x4 tiles, and mine are 16 cents at a hardware store. I picked out some Steampunk stamps for us to use, and let's see. Oh, and these are the little edges that you want to put on the back to protect your tables and things from scratches. Okay, and then we need alcohol ink. Now, I've suggested that we use at least one of our colors to be orange, since this is Halloween. So here's sunset orange, and let's try. I'm going to dump these out. I haven't chosen my colors yet before I started, but let's put a let's see. Here's pitch black, so we want some black in it. And I suggest 3 colors, but I also want to put a mixative in it, which would be gold or silver, and I think I'm going to go with gold since our colors are warm. And you can hear this in the background where I'm dumping everything out. Okay, I'm looking for a purple. Here's an eggplant. So there's that. And I'm also looking for my gold. And I've found my silver, but I've not found my gold. And I also have my copper, and I think instead of gold I'm going to go with copper. So let's go with those. Now, for those of you who have used alcohol inks, you'll understand this, but those of you who haven't, it takes very, very, very little ink to go pretty far. So I'm going to take the lid off, and I'm just going to give it a few squirts in here. Okay, and I wipe that up just a little bit, and then I'm going to squirt my orange. Maybe if I can get the lid off, put some of that on. See, I'm not using very much. And then, let's see, I used my purple. Let's use the black. And see, I'm just putting them in different spots on this applicator pad, because they'll mix up together later. And then I'm going to take my copper, and a little of this goes a really long way, so I'm just going to put some dots here and there. Okay? Now, alcohol inks are for non-porous surfaces, and I just got that all over my finger. And this ceramic tile, it's glazed, it is a non-porous surface. So we're going to just start doing this and putting it on. And I'm just pouncing it randomly. For all these really good looking colors on here, and looks pretty good. I think I would like to have some more of the orange though, so I'm just going to put a little bit more out there, and I'm going to come back and pounce in some more solution. Looks like this, and I have some. I keep some mini misters full, and I keep one with alcohol in it and one with water, and I keep one with blending solution in it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take that blending solution and spritz it on there and watch the interaction. Now you can spritz as much or as little as you want, and you can leave it alone, or you can go back in and pounce a little if you want. And we're getting a pretty dark image, but this will not be as dark as it is now when it dries. Okay, and according, I use some pretty dark colors, so according to what colors you use is whether it'll be dark or light. Now I'm going to dry this. You don't have to dry it with a heat tool, but it's good to do that when we're on the videotape, so you don't have to wait for it to dry. And we're dry. Now I was going to use some black embossing powder on this, but I'm thinking that since it's so dark, then I may want to use my gold instead, or even some white. So let's try it in white and see what happens. Let's do our steampunk skull. Okay, so I'm going to take my stamp. Before I do that, I'm going to use my embossing buddy, and I'm going to wipe off the tile because I want to make sure that the embossing powder only sticks where I want it to instead of all over the place. Okay, so I'm going to take my stamp and I'm going to put the clear embossing ink on it, make it pretty juicy. Okay, and then I'm going to stamp it right here on my tile. Now I moved it a little bit, so I hope I didn't make it kind of blurry. And now you probably can't see that. I can, but it's there. So I'm going to take my little glitter tray and put it in here, and I'm going to pour the white embossing powder on top of it. And then shake it off. Okay, I'll move that out of the way, and then I'm going to take my heat gun and heat it to get our embossing done. That's all done. Doesn't that show up really cool? If you wanted to put some borders around here, you could. I have a stamp here that says who needs Halloween to be freaky, and we could put it there or here or somewhere. Let's see, so what we want to do now is to ink the edges so that it doesn't, just show up as white on the sides. And going to get some black soot ink. You can use archival, and I've got archival, but it's not in front of me at the moment, so I'm going to find. Well, I've got some Jenny Bolin ink right next to me, so let's use that. And let's just go on the edges, ink these edges up like that. Now my tile is still kind of warm, so watch yourself if you pick this up and do it too quickly after you're embossing. The sides of this tile are porous, so it will take the ink and hold it. You can also come up on the top edges just a little. And for the most part you're done. you do want to, if you're going to use it as a coaster, you want to protect it. And what I use is the Deco Art Americana Sealer Finisher. This is a gloss, but I use the matte. But I'm out of it because I used it all in Tennessee in August. There's another brand, Design Master Clear Finish Matte. I'm not going to spray it here because I'm inside and the fumes are not good for you. But if you spray that, then and after it dries, you can use it as a coaster and you can put wet liquids on it. Then what you want to do on the back side is take your little pads and put them on the four corners. You could also get a roll of cork or the square cork and cut it to size, and that would be really nice because then you would fill the whole back with it and that would look nicer. I got these at Old Time Pottery. I think they were a couple of dollars for like 16 of them. So you do that, and then your table is protected. Here's another one that I made that it was a mess up. It was a large background stamp, so I just use it here in my studio, and you can't really see what it is, but I put an ice water bottle on it every day, and it's very nice still. And there's, you know, none of the paint has come off or any of the ink or anything like that. So here's the first one. Let's make another one together. Let's try to go light this time. So here's my tile. Let's go with some lighter inks so we can use our black. I still want to use the copper, and I still want to use let's see, instead of sunset orange, let's try terracotta. And then purple twilight is a little lighter. And let's try some light green, which is lettuce. Okay? So I'm just going to peel this off. And these come in packages with your ink applicators, or you can cut your own felt. But you get a lot, and it's not very expensive. So I'm again going to put the lettuce, the green on here. I think I'm going to put a lot more of this green on because I want the lighter color to be dominant. We'll put just a little bit of purple on and some accent. And then let's go with our terracotta. You can get these inks in sets of 3. You can get them, I think you can get them in the OWSE store, pretty sure. Oh, let's not forget our copper, our metallic mixative. But you can also get them, you know, at any craft store, big box store. Okay, so let's see what we got. Oh yes, much lighter. Maybe not Halloween colors so much, but I don't know. That looks a little bit like brains. Okay. And you don't have to spray the blending solution. Can if you want, or the water. I wouldn't really do water with alcohol ink. You could use alcohol, but I'm going to like raise my hand way up and just spray a little bit this time. Last time I kind of soaked it, so I'm going to just kind of go easy on it this time. Let's dry real quick. And it's dry already. This time I'm going to use the Who Needs Halloween to Be Freaky and my Goth Girl, and I got I got all of these stamps from the OWSE. So let's ink up with our embossing ink again. Make it nice and juicy. And I'm going to put this in this corner here. And then I'm going to ink up my Goth Girl. Make sure that's nice and wet. And I'm going to put her just a little bit over this way. Okay. Let's get my glitter tray back.